Good afternoon. I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, we have some breaking news out of Lawrence County. Troopers with Kentucky State Police say they are investigating after 2 bodies were found in a home this afternoon. They say they found the pair at a home in the 700 block of Blaine Creek Road, but have no further details to release at this time. This obviously a developing story. We will keep you updated as we learn more. Turning to weather now, severe storms moved through eastern Kentucky this afternoon, knocking down trees and leaving tens of thousands of people in the dark. The good news, the storms are moving out and cooler temperatures are moving in. Meteorologist Evan Hatter joins us now with the latest on this afternoon's storms. It was pretty wild, Evan.
That's right. At one point, the entire corridor of our viewing area from north to south across the central portion of our area was under some sort of severe thunderstorm warning. The good news is that all, if not, or most, if not all of our watches have been canceled. However, the damage has already been done. Plenty of trees down around the region. One of our weather spotters, Alan Bowling, sent this in from Prestonsburg. A couple of trees down in that yard there at that home near downtown Prestonsburg. We have a reporter on the way to the scene, and we hope to have more a little bit later on this afternoon. Downtown Harlan, Lisa Bledsoe sent in these photos. I was at that gas station not a few weeks ago at the Polk Salad Festival, and they've had some roof damage to the awning there at that gas station. Ivy Hill area in Harlan. Pete Cornett sends this photo of a tree down there in the road. And Frenchburg, Robin Burge sending in a photo of one of her apple trees there in Menifee County has fallen over there. So we've had trees down, reports from around the area. You can see where the two main areas of storms moved through. We had one move through southern Kentucky and one move through around the Mountain Parkway corridor. We've had several reports. In fact, we are still getting reports of trees falling down as these storms have moved past. The good news, outside of some rain in parts of Pike, Dickinson, and Buchanan counties, the storms have pushed to the east. They are still severe, though, as they head through the rest of southwest Virginia. The severe thunderstorm watch has been now cleared from the entire region. You can't really see it there on the map, but it has been cleared for the entire region. So no watches or warnings in effect. Temperatures, well, they are much cooler. We're in the 70s and 80s. As opposed to where we've been the last few days in the middle 90s. Those dew points still a little elevated. As we head into tonight, we'll start to ease on out of our hot weather pattern and move the storms out. We're in the low 60s as we head into tonight. Now, Cameron will have the very latest on what to expect as we head into the weekend. He's live out at the Perry County Fair, and he'll have that coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, you could literally feel that cooler air coming in following those storms this afternoon. And at last check, more than 70,000 customers were without power across Kentucky. Many of those were in eastern Kentucky, including Martin County. Much of that county was without power at last check. So lots of trees down, lots of power outages from these storms this afternoon. We do have reporters out surveying the damage and hope to have some more video of some of the damage across the region coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. In other news, the economic response to the shock of the pandemic impacted parts of southern and eastern Kentucky differently. In London, members of the local business community say it actually did not hurt that much. As more people feel comfortable with social gatherings, folks in London say there are many new businesses to greet them. Members of the London Laurel County Chamber of Commerce say if you go back 6 years, people would tell you they weren't very happy with the atmosphere downtown and were looking for a change, but that is now a thing of the past.
We've got hotels coming in, we have eateries coming in, we have retail coming in. It's all been a very positive for our community and a lot of growth.
That growth includes many places to eat, especially in the downtown area where business leaders are describing as the heartbeat of London. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Friday. It's certainly been a rocky week, and the Dow closes down today more than 41 points. Growing worries about the economy are hitting the housing market hard. With the Fed raising interest rates again, average long-term mortgage rates saw their biggest one-week jump in 35 years to the highest seen since 2008. An estimated 18 million households who would have qualified for a mortgage in January are essentially frozen out of the market. no longer eligible for that loan, and those who can get those loans face a far higher mortgage payment. Experts predict this means major changes are in store for the once red-hot housing market.
We will see house price growth level off here, and we'll see some price declines in some of the more juiced up markets across the country, particularly. And in my mind, that's a correction when house prices start to go lower.
Mortgage applications are down more than 15% compared to 2021, dropping 5% in May alone. That's prompting nearly 1 in 5 sellers to drop their price. There remains more demand than supply for homes, so you really can't call this a buyer's market just yet, but there are signs of cooling nationwide. Lyft has agreed to a $25 million settlement with shareholders after being accused of hiding safety problems. The security suit was filed because investors accused the rideshare company of not disclosing reports of Lyft drivers assaulting women passengers. Because the omissions of possible assault came before its initial public offering, Lyft was accused of trying to appear more socially responsible than its rival Uber. The settlement agreement is pending approval by a federal judge in Northern California. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is recalling more than 400,000 medication bottles from Kroger and Walgreens. The bottles contain the pain relievers acetaminophen, ibuprofen, and aspirin. There's nothing wrong with the medication, but the bottles don't meet standards for child resistance. That means a child could open them and accidentally ingest the medication inside. All the bottles are branded either Walgreens or Kroger. The specific bottles covered under the recall are listed on the CPSC's website, as well as Kroger and Walgreens websites. Big developments in the extradition case of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, who faces spying charges in the United States. CBS's Holly Williams has the latest.
After years of legal wrangling, the British government has now ordered the extradition of Julian Assange to the US. The WikiLeaks founder is wanted for violating the Espionage Act after publishing hundreds of thousands of leaked, classified US government documents, including military files in 2010. Assange's lawyers have been fighting extradition by arguing that he's at risk of suicide if he's incarcerated in an American supermax prison. But the British government said today that extraditing him would not be, quote, oppressive, unjust, or an abusive process. Assange, who is an Australian citizen, will apparently appeal and now has 14 days to do so. The US claims that by publishing the leaked documents, Assange broke the law and endangered lives. His supporters argue that he's a journalist who exposed wrongdoing by the US and that prosecuting him is a threat to democracy. Assange's lawyers claim he faces up to 175 years in prison in the US if he's convicted. Holly Williams, CBS News, London.
The House committee investigating the January 6th attack says former Vice President Mike Pence resisted sustained pressure from former President Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election. The panel now wants to interview Jenny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who exchanged emails with former President Trump's lawyer shortly before January 6th. John Eastman was among those giving the former president ideas to block the election certification. Thomas told a conservative news site that she can't wait to clear up misconceptions. Today is the 50th anniversary of the break-in that started the investigation known as the Watergate scandal. Police arrested 5 burglars at the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington's Watergate complex on this day in 1972. One of them, a security consultant for then Republican President Richard Nixon's re-election committee. The White House dismissed it as, quote, a third-rate burglary. But the event set off more than 2 years of investigations, and Nixon resigned in August 1974 after the House Judiciary Committee approved 3 articles of impeachment. Still to come on First at 4, days of record-breaking heat lead to devastating loss on farms that could leave a lasting impact on the American economy.
And all eyes are on the weekend for cooler temperatures to return to the mountains. I have your full forecast coming up.